little update in this one. Should be a good time as usual. So week 1 of our fantasy football playoffs has just wrapped up. We'll take a look back at how our team did, and then we'll take a look at a preview for our next matchup. And we'll also take a look at some of the NFL scores from the past week. But before we do that, I've also got a little caramel art candy I'll be working on today. Get that opened up real quick. Oh yeah, that's some good stuff right there, man. Alright, so Getchy ended up having a pretty big week, 148 points, but we came out on top. We scored 175 points, which is one of my best weeks of the year. Huge shout out to Josh Allen. I'm sure anyone who has Josh right now is really happy. He is going on an absolute tear these past 2 games. 51 points, and then unfortunately couldn't get 50, so he's kind of regressed a little bit, but 41 points is insane. So that was awesome, man. That was really awesome. That was such a good game too. Such a good game. So yeah, we got 41 from Josh. Unfortunately for Getchy, he had Brock Purdy, so it would have been a lot closer if he had just, played to sort of where he's been at. Like, I think the past couple games he's been quite a bit better. Oh. He really had 2 points that game. Wow. But last game he had 22. And he went 20 for 25, so I was a little worried about that, but that Thursday night game, where no touchdowns were scored, Cooper Kupp ends up with 0 points. Man, that had, I'm sure, a huge impact on the playoffs here. Next up we got Derrik Henry with 6.7, who had, his, I'm guessing, like, that's gotta be his worst game of the season. Yeah, first time not getting at least 10 points. But, I mean, they didn't really need him. They won 35-14, so it makes sense, but hopefully, let's see who they're playing next week. Pittsburgh, okay. Ooh, that's gonna be a good game. Next up we got Jonathan Taylor with 10 points, who should have had, should take away that fumble, so that's plus 2 points, 12, plus 6, so he should have had 18 points. But this man dropped the ball right before going into the end zone. I can't believe people still do that. It blows my mind every time. Crazy. Next up we got DK with 5.8. He's been very, very hit or miss. Really hasn't popped off since early on in the season, unfortunately, but all good. We got T. Higgins with 19.8. He's been balling this year too. Obviously overshadowed a bit by Jamar Chase, who's been just killing it this year, but still top 40 PPR. His averages are really high. It's just he's missed quite a few games, otherwise he would be ranked higher. Next up we got AJ Brown with 25. That's one of his biggest games in a while, I think. Yeah, so that was was a nice little bonus for us. Jani Smith, who is turning out to be like one of the greatest free agent pickups of all time. Let me see. Yeah, okay, so I added him November 17th, which would have been, I think it was right before the Raiders game, because I remember he went off like the first game I picked him up. Yeah, I think it was the Raiders game. So yeah, shout out to Klassen for that one. Dude's been ballin'. Then we got Najee, pretty bad game, 3 points. That was just a tough game in general. You know, the run game kind of got away from him early. Next up we got Sam Laporta. So we got two stud tight ends here, which is nice to have. Ended up with 19 points. And then last but not least, the Denver defense with 22, man. Number 1 defense. Scoring wise in fantasy, and they are an elite defense, so they've been really nice to have. Singletary finally had a good game, left him on the bench. Love to see it. But let's take a look at our matchup this week. So we're playing Adil again. And we just played him recently. 14, maybe 13. 13, yeah, he dropped 190 on us, man. PTSD, big time. So, I don't know how this is gonna go. He has got such a good team. 11-3, probably the best team in the league. We're gonna need some magic, especially from Josh Allen. Like if we can get another, I'm not even gonna say 40, because that's you know, really reaching. But if we can get a solid 30 out of him, that'd be nice. We need a good performance from Henry as well. Jonathan Taylor, that could be a good matchup for us against Tennessee at home. So I don't know. He's been hit or miss a lot this year. You know, really hasn't reached sort of the levels that he was early on in his career, those first two seasons. But it's tough. I mean, he's had some injuries. The offense isn't that great, so yeah, it's kind of tough. We got DK versus Minnesota. Might be raining, so that might not be good for us. We got T. Higgins versus Cleveland. That could be good. Could be a good matchup. AJ Brown at Washington. I like that. That is a divisional game, though, so that could be. They kind of tend to go a little bit on the lower scoring end, so hopefully he's still able to put some points up. We got Jani Smith versus San Francisco, so at home. I don't know, because, you know, it's weird with the 49ers because, you know, in my mind, I expect them to play like up here, but they haven't been that team this year, so I really don't know how that one's gonna go. Hopefully, he can put up some points for us, though. Najee at Baltimore, that's not looking like a good matchup for us. Their defense isn't great, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up being either low scoring or Baltimore gets out ahead early. this year. So I don't know if I love that matchup, but I think I'm just going to put my faith in the defense. They've been really good all year, so might as well stick it out. You know, if they had a really good game and I benched them, I would feel pretty terrible about myself. So that is how our matchup is looking. Looks like it's going to be a pretty tough week. I don't know. I think I'm going to need some help. But that's a good matchup for Jacobs, which is unfortunate. Kyron Williams at the Jets. I don't know. That could be a good matchup. I don't know. The Jets are kind of a weird team. Then you got Jets at Seattle. Yeah. Devontae at versus the Rams at home. Okay. Yeah, so he's got some pretty favorable matchups, to be honest. Chase Brown versus Cleveland, bro. Are you kidding me? He went off last week. Last 2 weeks, actually. Dang. That's crazy. Alright, well. Fingers crossed. Hopefully we get a dub. We'll see. But let's take a look back at some of the scores from the past week. So obviously we start off the Thursday night football game with the Rams at the 49ers. That was a big win for the Rams. I'm not sure exactly where they're at in the standings. Let's take a look. I mean, they surely have not clinched, but okay, so yeah, they're at the top of the NFC West, I think. You know, just looking at it, okay, NFC North is loaded. So, yeah, I mean, the Rams aren't guaranteed to make it. There's going to be one wild card team, right? Is it 6 wild? It's the division champ, and then I think it's 2 wild cards, from what I can remember. If it's 2, it's, you know, obviously Vikings or the Lions, one of them will get that. And then probably the Commanders or one of these 2 teams. We'll see, but they're definitely in a good spot now. Next up, we got the Cowboys at the Panthers, and unfortunately, my Dallas Cowboys decided to win this one, 30-14. The Cowboys were actually underdogs against the Panthers, which kind of shows you the state of the team right now. And, you know, Dowdle had a great game. He's had a great couple of weeks, actually, but, you know, as a Cowboys fan, I'm just kind of bewildered. This team's so weird and annoying. I wish we were losing for draft positioning, because it's like, even if we do make playoffs, we have, which is a massive long shot, but you know, we got Cooper Rush as our quarterback. I just don't see him going on like a Nick Foles, what was it, 2016 kind of run, but it's just the life of a Cowboys fan, I guess. Next up, we got the Chiefs at the Browns. Chiefs win 21-7, and I saw a stat that they are the only team to not score 30 this year. Is that true? Or maybe not score over 30? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess they haven't actually scored over 30. maybe it was just like, I don't remember what the stat was, actually, to be honest with you. But the fact that they're 11-1, or, sorry, 13-1, I got like potato brain right now. It's kind of crazy, man. Kind of crazy, considering all the injuries and everything. I don't know, just, pretty wild. Just a good team, just a really good team. It's insane. Next up, we got the Bengals at the Titans. Bengals end up winning by 10 here. Bengals defense, you know, pretty trash, per usual. They're, I mean, they gotta be the worst. I wonder what they're ranked like, scoring-wise, for fantasy. Okay, number 25. Alright. But, yeah, I mean, like, they're pretty horrendous, obviously. But the Bengals, I mean, they still technically have a chance. Definitely a long shot. They are... Okay. Yeah, I mean, they're gonna have to win out, and they're gonna need some help. And probably the same for the Dolphins. They're gonna need some losses from the Broncos and the Chargers, so that's a really crucial stretch of games for those two teams right there. They're gonna sneak in. Broncos are in a good spot, but Chargers and, you know, specifically the Bengals, if they're gonna make it, they're gonna have to really fight their way in. Next up, we got the Commanders at the Saints. Commanders end up getting the dub here. Saints went for 2 with, they scored with no time left, and then went for 2 for some reason. I guess, I mean, like, why not? You know, you're 5-8, you got a chance to just end it right there. You know, season's pretty much done. It is done. So why not? But they do end up losing to the Commanders, which, you know, if the Commanders had lost that game, that would have had a big impact on the playoff standings and wild card positioning. Next up, we got the Ravens at the Giants. Another big win for the Ravens. They've been killing it. Lamar's been just balling. Him and Josh Allen. They gotta be like 1 and 2 at MVP, right? I don't even know who I would go with. I really don't, because my goodness, dude, like 34 touchdowns, 3 interceptions is insane. And like that's just passing. I mean, factor in his running ability is, yeah, it's pretty crazy what he's doing. Okay, yeah, so, I mean, rushing about the same as he normally does too, so, gosh, look at those numbers, man. Look how much better he's gotten over the years. That's insane. I mean, I really liked him out of Louisville. But I didn't envision like he could end up going 40 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. That's like all time. Like, that's crazy. That's insane. But anywho, alright, so we got Jets at the Jaguars. Jets get a dub here. Aaron Rodgers had a huge game, as did Devontae. They get the win. I did not watch, really, I had it on, it did come up on Red Zone a little bit when I was watching. 94 yards, 5 touchdowns. James Cook with 2 tutties on the ground. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 193 and a touchdown. Yeah, this is a game where, you know, pretty much if you had anyone from it on your fantasy team, you did okay. You did okay. But yeah, another great game. Just a total shootout. Next up, we got the Steelers at the Eagles. Eagles with a big, just emphatic win there. Have they locked it up? Yeah, they have locked up the division. No, they haven't. Not yet, technically. I guess if they lose out and the Commanders win out and beat the Eagles in the division series, then it could be the Commanders, but that's a lot. That's a lot that needs to happen. Look at that home record for my Cowboys, man. 1-6. That's terrible. So bad. Next up, we got the Patriots at the Cardinals. Big game here for the Cardinals. They end up winning 30-17. Where are they at in the standings? So yeah, they need to do well and need a little bit of help. Although they definitely have a chance with the Rams and the Seahawks just being a game ahead. So that's going to be an interesting, that's going to be a battle, the NFC West, down to the very end. You know, everyone at this point is still in it. Next up, we got the Bucs at the Chargers. Bucs with a 23-point victory. Wow. I actually completely missed this. But dang, man. 4 touchdowns, 288 for Baker. Dude, he's been having like a sneaky good year. Like, especially considering the injuries. You know, like Mike Evans going down for a bit. And then, obviously, Godwin done for the year. I mean, he's had a bit of a resurgence this year, man. Pretty cool to see. So he's got 3,600 yards, 32 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, 70% completion percentage. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Good for him. I love when people are able to escape the Panthers and do well. To be honest. Sorry for any Panthers fans out there. Next up, we got the Packers at the Seahawks. Packers win 30-13. And yeah, another team that doesn't get, like, I feel like they don't get a ton of attention, but they're really good, and they're going to be scary in the playoffs, especially if they have a home game. But yeah, big win there. So they're 10-4 now. That's crazy that they're third in their division, bro. That's wild. That's actually insane. Next up, we got the Bears at the Vikings. Vikings are just dominant again, 30-12. Bears look terrible. Yeah, good win for the Vikings, though. You know, pretty cool to see that after, you know, the news about Randy Moss and everything. So, probably a pretty emotional game for a lot of the guys. Next up, we got the Falcons at the Raiders. Falcons ended up with a 15-9 win, and Kirk ended up with another stinker of a game, and he is officially getting benched, which is wild considering, like, you know, he had 5 509 yards this game, 4 touchdowns and a pick. He had this other game. I guess he's just got Tampa Bay's number, man, because he had 4 touchdowns in both games. But I mean, yeah, obviously, like the turnovers have been a problem lately for Kirk. You know, he went 4 straight weeks with 0 touchdowns. But I'm really, really surprised because they're 7-7, and you're handing the offense over to Michael Penix, but you know, the fact that they're still in playoff contention, it's just not something you would ever really see, to be honest. Like, I can't remember if I've ever seen something like this before, where a team in playoff contention benches the starter, a dude who's been in the league for, what, probably 15 years now, right? Maybe like 13, 14. 12. Benching him for a rookie at this point in the season, man, I'm not saying it's a bad move. I am just saying it's very different, and I am very intrigued to see how it plays out. So we'll see. But yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. We'll pick up next week with another update. Hopefully we get a dub, but you know, obviously it's going to be a pretty tough matchup, but we'll see. Let me know down below how y'all's teams did this past week, but that'll do it for this one. As always, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was relaxing. And if you did like it, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more. And I will see you all